monitor wood dust, and it's also classed by DEFRA and the UK government as a nuisance or an annoyance. They don't class it as a health hazard at all, and they actually monitor it to 200 milligrams per metre square as a deposition. They don't identify it, they don't quantify. And just to give you an example, when I read out for fine particulates, you get something that says a large quantity of fine particles. Fine particles of what? And please quantify and identify. They don't do that. That's because they don't have to. So as long as those dust emissions meet 200 milligrams per metre squared measurement level of deposition, that makes it okay regardless of what's in it. Is that good? Is that acceptable? We don't think that's acceptable at all. Also, there's another document, it's an EA document again, H1 Annex 2.2, and I'm reading them out if anyone wants to make a note. And in that document, that's for air emissions, it actually says that residents are full of colour receptors, are the animals, as you saw in the field next to the dust monitors that scratch up against the dust monitors that are used on a daily basis, are 4.96 times greater exposed to emissions than wood workers on 24/7, 365 days. So also you've got total suspended particles. One of the pictures you heard the lady with the big pile saying that it's totally hanging in the air, because that particular site is in a valley. And during the hot, warm weather, it literally is like a blanket of dust, and within 5-10 minutes in the garden, you have to run inside because it's so bad on your eyes. And people complain about stinging eyes, runny nose, the lady just walking down the canal, the guy just walking down the canal, feel it in the back of the throat. Those are signs that you can find on the HSE website. Just look up wood dust, just Google it, anybody, and put in eye irritations, nosebleeds, whatever. They are all allergic reactions to wood dust. Now they are the least of our concerns, the nose bleeds. What we're more concerned about is what could potentially develop if people are exposed to that for the next 10, 20, 25 years. And then the ending of this would be, if people are saying they've got health problems around the country, and those places are like in Avonmouth Port, Shore Port, it was in Liverpool next to the Sonai plant, which is now closed, across Lancashire, Nottingham and Merseyside. They're the people that we know of in this country, the communities that we know of, that are coming forward saying they've got similar health issues. But there are also communities in the United States who then we speak to, who are also complaining of similar health issues, living alongside wood biomass plants. So, are we all wrong, or is there something happening? And should the authorities be ignoring us at this point? We're putting our hand up and saying, we think we've got a problem here, Houston. Can you please look at it? But they're not happy to look at it. They just want to pat us on the head and tell us to go away. No one wants to know. Okay. So the mission statement of the Mossley Environmental Action Group is to challenge the current regulations for this 200 milligrams per metre square level, because if they would use the precautionary principle, which they probably wouldn't, but we're going to ask them to, and in light of the fact that these emissions are not fully quantified or identified, we believe that there's no evidence of no harm. What's the saying? No evidence of harm is not evidence of no harm. And that's what we're saying to you. Unless you can tell us what's in that dust, please don't tell us that there isn't a problem with it, because you don't know yourselves, or maybe they do know, they just don't want to tell us. We don't really know the answer to that, but hopefully that will come out in time. Okay, so what I just wanted to say is, we've written to Lord de Morley, David Cameron, other party leaders, Ed Davey. I actually told him live on Radio 5 Live recently with Graham Cliff, who's a scientist and an asbestos expert and a nanoparticles expert, and I'm also joined by a chemical engineer from up north, if anyone would like to pick their brains while we're here for a short time. And Nicky Campbell certainly didn't know that wood dust was a Group 1 carcinogen. Ed Davey was busy writing with his head down, so I couldn't tell if he knew or not, but I'll probably suggest that he does it, because many people don't know. What it is we have written to these people and we've said no plausible deniability. We've told you it could be 50 years, it could be 100 years, it could be the next 25 years. It may be never, maybe we're mistaken, but if there is a problem with people's health and it does continue, and you're going to get these biomass incinerators with the even smaller particles. And let's face it, there's a problem with communities with the wood dust from the recycling stage. What the hell is it going to be like when they start burning it? It's going to be even worse, we believe. But as far as we're concerned, we're all in this boat together and we should help each other. And the last thing I wanted to say was, it's a little statement, and I've actually got a picture of this in my office at the moment, and it goes like this. Never doubt the power of a few to change the world. Indeed, it's all that ever has. Thank you.